Captain James Reed stared at the holographic display of the Andromeda fleet bearing down on Earth's defense line. 47 ships, each armed with the dreaded hydro weapons that had laid waste to 3 human colony worlds in the past month. "Status report," he ordered, his voice steady despite the knot in his stomach. Lieutenant Annabelle looked up from her console. "The fleet will be in range in 17 minutes, sir. Planetary evacuation is at 32%. James nodded grimly. Not enough time. The Andromeda Empire had emerged from the far reaches of the galaxy 3 years ago, conquering everything in their path with terrifying efficiency. Their hydro weapons, massive cannons that manipulated water molecules at a quantum level, had proven unstoppable. They could extract moisture from living bodies or condense it from trace atmospheric vapor to create tsunami-like projectiles capable of leveling cities. "Any word from the research station?" James asked. "Professor Thomas is requesting direct communication, sir." "Put him through." The weathered face of Professor Thomas appeared on screen. His eyes were bloodshot from sleepless nights, but there was something else there, a gleam of triumph. "Captain Reed, we've done it," he said without preamble. "Project Atlantis is operational." James felt his heart skip. "Are you certain?" "The simulations." "Forget the simulations," Thomas interrupted. "We successfully tested it against the captured Andromeda scout ship. It works exactly as the ancient texts described." The ancient texts were fragments of historical documents discovered in the ruins of a pre-cataclysmic civilization on Mars, a civilization that had apparently faced and defeated a threat similar to the Andromedans thousands of years ago. "I'm sending you the deployment codes now," Thomas continued. "But, Captain, you need to understand what this means. The ancients didn't just defeat their enemy, they obliterated them. There's a reason these weapons were dismantled and the knowledge buried." James nodded solemnly. "I understand, Professor, but we're out of options." After ending the transmission, James turned to his tactical officer. "Lieutenant Smith, prepare to deploy Project Atlantis on my command." As the crew rushed to incorporate the new weapon system, James reflected on the irony of the situation. Humans had always feared water weapons, not just the Andromedans version, but throughout history. Water had been weaponized in wars since ancient times, from flooding valleys to spreading disease. Yet water had also been civilization's cradle, the source of life itself. The ancients had apparently discovered something about water that went beyond conventional understanding, something that bridged the gap between quantum mechanics and biological systems in ways modern science was only beginning to comprehend. "Sir," Anna called out, "the Andromeda fleet is accelerating. ETA now 12 minutes. Status of Project Atlantis? Integration complete. Awaiting your command." James took a deep breath. "Open a channel to all Earth Defense Forces." When the connection was established, he spoke clearly. "All ships, this is Captain Reed. Fall back to secondary positions. I repeat, fall back to secondary positions. The Orion will handle the Vanguard." Confused acknowledgments came through, but the defense fleet complied, pulling back from the front line. "Sir," Lieutenant Smith said softly, "the Andromedans are broadcasting." "Let's hear it." The harsh, clicking language of the Andromedans filled the bridge, automatically translated by the ship's computer. "Humans of Earth, your resistance ends today. Your water will fuel our conquest. Submit, and some may be spared as laborers." James's expression hardened. No response. "Prepare Project Atlantis." "Targeting systems ready," Smith confirmed. "Target the lead vessel only," James ordered. "Let's show them exactly what they're dealing with." The crew worked with practiced efficiency, and within moments, Smith announced, "Project Atlantis locked on target. Fire." From the Orion's forward section, a pulse of energy, almost invisible except for a faint blue shimmer, shot toward the lead Andromeda vessel. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the impossible occurred. The massive Andromeda ship seemed to shudder. Its hull began to ripple, the metal flowing like water. Within seconds, the entire vessel collapsed in on itself, imploding with a silent flash that momentarily outshone the distant sun. Stunned silence filled the bridge. What just happened?" Anna whispered. Professor Thomas's voice came through the comm system. The ancients discovered that water has memory, quantum memory. Project Atlantis doesn't attack the ships directly. It reprograms the water molecules inside the vessel, including those in the bodies of the crew, reminding them of their natural state. The effect cascades exponentially. The remaining Andromeda ships had halted their advance, clearly confused by the sudden destruction of their flagship. "They're scanning us," Smith reported, attempting to analyze what happened. James straightened in his chair, opened a channel to the Andromeda fleet. Where the connection was established, he spoke clearly. "Andromeda vessels, you came to Earth because of our water. Now you understand why we protected it. This was but a demonstration. Retreat immediately and permanently, or we will deploy this weapon against your entire fleet." For several tense moments, there was no response. Then slowly, the Andromeda ships began to turn away. "They're retreating," Anna said, disbelief in her voice. James nodded, a complex mixture of relief and disquiet washing over him. "History has indeed repeated itself," he murmured. "The ancients faced this same choice, to use ultimate power to save themselves, knowing what it might cost their souls." As the Andromeda fleet disappeared into the darkness of space, James wondered if humanity would heed the warning the ancients had tried to leave them, that some weapons, once unleashed, changed not just the enemy, but those who wield them as well. Only time would tell.